So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Kai watching Code with Kai, and today's topic is going to create an accordion component in React. So for that, I've already drawn the accordion state like this, and it is actually inspired from real life accordion. If you see accordion in real life, it looks something like this, and it is a musical instrument, right? So yeah, the inspiration for accordion comes from the real accordion. So this component that we want to create has two states: non-expanded state and an expanded state. In the non-expanded state, it looks something like this is one item, this is another item. I call it I1. You can call this I2. Okay, so there are two items, and when we click on any of the area right here, then the accordion should expand into state like this. Okay, it should show the description part of the accordion. Okay, description, and we can call it as a header part of the accordion. This is the description part of the accordion. So there are two accordion. There is one accordion component. This entire is a one accordion component, and it has two items. This is item number 1, and this is item number 2. That much is clear. So we also want to have a control and uncontrolled state of the accordion. Meaning of this is simple. When we have a controlled state is internally handled, right? So that we have to care. Okay, so we have to care about control and uncontrolled state of this, and we'll dive into this later part of the code. Then we also want to support feature of multi-expand. That is, if there is a possibility that it behaves like, we click on this accordion, if we click on this item, the other items will hide, something like that. So we have to handle multi-expand. And do we support multi-expand? That is one thing. Then the next thing is we want to handle the icon rotation. So this icon that here it is on the right side. We also want an ability that when accordion is expanded, it actually shifts to 180 degrees. Okay, so it goes from this state to this state. So that is 180 degree rotation that we need. So that being said, let's just do coding. Let's just see how we can code this accordion in a CodeSandbox. So we'll start this CodeSandbox of TypeScript. So this is the TypeScript version of CodeSandbox. If you go, there will be option of React-TS. You can select that. Then we can go to app.tsx. See, there is nothing except these headers that I have given. Second thing is index.tsx does not have anything. We can close this out. Last thing is style.css. I only added minimal style for this particular heading. That's it. And let's just go to let's just create accordion component, but let's just create it in a folder, components. Let's just create another folder for accordion, and inside accordion we are going to create 3 files: accordion.tsx and accordion item.tsx. And one more thing that we are going to create is the context of this accordion. So accordion context.tsx. Okay, we can separate out type, we can separate out utils as you require. For now, I'm going to stick with these 3 files. I don't want to make it complicated. So let's just go and implement the basic functionality of this. Okay, const accordion return, okay, export default accordion. This is created. We can return a simple base JSX. Go, so done. Put accordion item. There we go. Next is accordion context. We can import use context from and create context from this place. And we actually want to create an accordion context. So for that, we'll implement this as we go. And we also want to modify the styles of the accordion. So the first thing that we want to add is the context itself. So let's just create context. But for that, we want to import use context and create context from the React, because we will be creating a hook. That's the reason we are using use context, and we want to create a context. So create context. So once the context is created, then let's just create constant accordion context is equal to create context, and this context is going to have some type. So let's just define interface for this. Interface accordion context value is going to have a set, is going to have open items. How many accordion items are open? And this can be okay, open items, right? So set of string. Yeah, this can be set of string, and the value is going to have then toggle items. We also want to toggle and single item. So for that, you're going to return void. But here the value is going to be a string. Okay. So create context is going to take accordion context value, and or this can be a null, and we can just pass null to this. Okay. So once accordion context is created, we want to export that out as well. And let's just create another hook called as use accordion context is equal to, and to create accordion context, what we need is simple, just create, say context is equal to use context, and this is going to be accordion context. That's it. And if the context is not defined at this point, that means it was null. If not context, we can just throw an error saying accordion context is not defined, and we can just return context at this point. And wherever we consume this use accordion context, this is always going to have a value because this is going to take care of the null check. So let's just start with the implementation of accordion item. And first thing we want to create is the interface for this interface accordion item props. And in this interface, we'll have a few things. First, we can have heading. Heading is the main core thing that we require. This is a string. Then we can create a description, or we can just create it as a children. I'm creating it as children. You can create a description as well. So this is also going to be a React node, and that gives a flexibility that what we can have inside accordion. So children, then ID. Each accordion item is going to have an ID. This can be a string. And the last thing we want is disabled state. Then we can have it as a boolean. And few things are mandatory right here. ID we always require. Children we always require as well. Heading we always require. So these three things are mandatory. Disabled state we may or may not want it, so that is an optional thing. And let's just destruct it right here as well. So give colon accordion item props, heading children, heading ID children, and disabled as false. Okay, so given these three things, these four things, we have accordion item props. Okay, so if the next thing we want is go back to see what the context had. It had open items and it had toggle items, right? So if we go back here, we can take this from the context, import open items and toggle item from is equal to use accordion context. There we go. Import use accordion context from accordion context, something like this. There we go. Open items and toggle item. Is that right? So how do we know if some item is open? In this open items, in this particular open item context, we can create functions, right? So for that, either we can complete this out, or let's assume that we have some function that will give us ability to say that if this particular this particular thing is open or not, and this is part of a set. Open item is going to be a set of string. So const we can create a variable called as open, and open items dot has, and what do we check? If it has an ID, it has an ID. If it has an ID, then it is open, right? So in the accordion item, we can simply create two things. We can simply give heading accordion item heading, class name equals accordion item heading. Accordion item heading is created. Here we just pass heading, and then also create another class for accordion item description or content, whatever we call. I'm just going to call content, and just create and just pass this children to this. Okay, and if this is open, then we are going to show this content. Otherwise, we are not going to do anything. And the heading part is also divided into two particular parts. First is the left side is going to be the title itself, and the right side is going to be the icon. Accordion item heading text, and the next part is accordion item heading icon. Okay, here we pass heading, and for the icon part, you can copy these two emojis, these two UTF-8 characters from the internet, and I'm just going to use them instead of using an SVG. You can totally use SVG for this, but the use case is pretty simple, so it's fine. So is open, then I'm going to show it is open, then we are going to show this. Otherwise, we want to show this. Okay, this much is done. Disabled also is one thing, right? We have to take care of, and this can be a button. There's no reason we cannot make this as a button. So button, and here on click should have some handle. accordion toggle. So let's just go back to handle accordion toggle. Here we're going to call this toggle item with ID, whatever we passed. Yeah, this is going to handle this. On click class name, this is fine. Toggle item, open item, as item. I think this is looking pretty fine. Disabled state we can pass right here as well. Disabled state, disabled. That's it. So I think this much is the code for accordion item, and we can add ARIA things for accessibility right here. But let's just see how it renders in the app.tsx. Here we also want to have the accordion, right? So we created first of accordion item. Next is to create accordion itself. Let's just go here and import accordion item first. And we can attach this accordion item as item to this accordion itself. And this way, wait, let me just write children, and let me pass children right here. And I'll show you one good stuff of React interface, accordion props. Here I can pass children, and this can be a React node. So if React node import type React node from React. Okay, this is not there. And accordion props is set. So let's just try to consume this in app.tsx. Accordion, and here let's just try to give hello, printing. Yeah, it's printing. And we pass accordion.item, and it has its own props. Accordion.item is the component that we created. This one, it has its own props, heading child, children, ID, and disabled. So let's just give heading as what is React. Okay, so it's saying accordion context is not defined. Okay, so we have to go here, and we created the context, right? We have to use this accordion context as well. Go back to accordion, import this context. You can just try to type this, yeah, and it will auto import itself. Return accordion context.provider. This much is done, and here we can pass value as two things that we want to pass to the children. So accordion context provider is going to have open items and toggle items. Yeah, correct. So open items and toggle item. So we also have to define these functions. Const these one function and one variable. Open items, let's just say for now it is a new set. We will change this up. For now, let us be a new set. So let's just define toggle items. Toggle item as function. And once this is done, we have an accordion. What is React and a down key. I think this is fine. And let's just implement this open items. So we want, okay, what are the props that accordion is going to have? It is going to have one more prop called as allow multiple. So this will just tell you if multiple sub accordion items are allowed in this particular component or not. Allowed to open at same time. So allow multiple is there, children is there, and what else do we need actually? It also needs to have a on change, and this on change is going to take values, and this is going to be a string of array of string. On change is set, allow multiple and children is set, and the value finally we require is going to be a string array. Okay, so accordion props is going to take value on change, and here children, and this value is part of controlled and uncontrolled input. This is going to control if it's a controlled or uncontrolled input. Uncontrolled accordion. By controlled, you simply mean that the value is getting passed from the parent, and if you're getting value from the parent, that means parent is the one that is controlling the state of our accordion. But if it is not the case, then it is an uncontrolled, and we want to handle that as well internally. Const open items, open active items, let's just say, or open internal items, set open internal items, and this can be a use state, and this can be a set, right? This can be a set of string. Here we can simply return new set. Okay, so open internal items, set open internal items. If it is, now we need to check if it is a controlled one or not. So is controlled, So we type is controlled. Then we check if we have any value written from the parent. If value is not equal undefined, value is not equal to undefined. Okay, so cannot find value because we didn't destruct it. Allow multiple and change and value. Actually, allow multiple is going to be by default false. Okay, so this is there. Allow multiple is going to be optional. Children on change and value. So this is also optional and this is also optional actually. And allow multiple is also optional. Well, the only thing we require is the children in this case. Allow multiple is also there. So if it is a controlled component, then if it is a controlled component, then open items is dependent upon this value, right? So we can say it is controlled component, then open item is dependent upon the value. Otherwise, open items are going to be whatever the internal state is going to be. But thing is not a single type. Okay, so this is saying that we cannot do this. We have to do new set because it is a set and the value was a string. Yeah, so it should work. Allow multiple also we have to handle. That is part of the toggle item logic. So what do you mean by toggle item? Toggle item is going to take ID and this is going to be a string. So the toggle item logic is actually very simple. And so first let's just mutate this particular open items state, saying that new open items as new set, and here we can pass open items. And if this particular new open item has this particular ID that we are passing, then we want to close this out. So new open items dot delete ID. Internally it only has two states. The first is this: if accordion item is open, we close this. Okay, we close it. That is what we are writing here. Else, that means accordion item is already closed and we're trying to open it. So at this point, the else part, item is closed and we are opening it, right? So this is another phase for this. And in this case, we are going to check if it has multiple, if it has allow multiple. Why? Because let's just say the accordion is closed and we are trying to open it. And if there are multiple accordions, if multiple opens are not allowed, that means we also have to close everything out. So we can say if not multiple, if allow multiple, then we are going to close everything out and clear everything from set, and new open items dot add, we add the current ID to this. Okay, so if all, okay, so this is actually condition that we always require. If accordion item is closed and multiple are not allowed, then we double check and close everything. That is where the new open items, which was a set, we are removing everything from set. That is why no open items are clear. New open items are clear. Next thing, we check if it is a controlled thing or uncontrolled thing. So if it is controlled, if it is not a controlled accordion, then we can just update the internal state of this as the new state that we are generating, and we can just add the onChange handler on change and just call this out with, we can call this out with change with the value, right? So what value we need? Open items, open new items, new open items. Okay, this, but this is saying argument of type is not a subset parameter of type string. It means we have to modify this set to a array. So array.from new open items, that will take care of it. Let's just try to make it work. So it is not working for some reason. Okay, let's go to oh, here we are missing accordion items. Here we are missing ID as item 1, and we're also missing the content of it. So we can just write React is JS framework. So that should do the trick, I guess. Let's go back. Yeah, React is a JS framework. So the accordion currently is looking very bad. We can style this up. For now, just create one more. Python is, what is Python? And we can say Python is a programming language. Which, okay, just add a snake to it. There we go. So Python is a programming language. React, okay. So both IDs cannot be shared. So we have to make sure that IDs are not common. Okay, so go back. Clear this up, go back to the styles and go to the accordion item. We had accordion item heading, right? So let's just style this out using accordion item heading. Border 1 pixel solid, red or black, right? And if you go to accordion item, the heading has text and icon. We can just we can actually style them separately if you want to. But now I'm just going to style this particular button. So this is going to have a padding of 10 pixels. And the width we can give as 100%. It will make sure it is filled. We can give display as flex. So yeah, and then we can give justify content as space between. Looks pretty good to me. Then we also have accordion item content. Let's give similar properties to this as well, minus the width. Okay, so it looks something like this. Python is a programming language. React is a JS framework. You can give whatever you feel. Let's just give the background color and we can get over with this. Light sand. Light sand. We go. And for this, I'm going to give background color as pink. Okay. There we go. So this is looking pretty fine. Multiple accordions are open because I've given in the app.tsx allow multiple. If I remove this out, reload this page, only a single accordion will be open at the same time. So that is it for the accordion part. I think the last final automation we can make is add the ARIA attributes for the accordion item. So we can go to accordion item. This button, we can add ARIA things to it. So I'm just going to copy paste it for now because even I do not have idea about ARIA expanded and all that stuff. So I've added the ARIA expanded and ARIA controls. And we also need to check if the disable state is working for this. So go back to app.tsx. Let's just try to make it this as disabled. And let's just allow multiples. So that being said, accordion component is completed. Everything is typed in TypeScript. And the way we have created, the way the accordion component is getting consumed, it is all something like if you are reading a library, we have completed something like that. So that is pretty slick. And we have created very minimal CSS. So that is a big win for us. We're not wasting much time on the CSS. And accordion component, accordion items, and the part where we have created the context and used it. I think that makes this particular component a solid thing for the interviews. So that is it for the video. See you guys in the next where we'll make some another component. Bye.